Hey, everybody. Hey there, friendos and bad nicks. That's the bad guys, right?
I don't know.
Let's eat some chili dogs. That's right, friends. This is Raw Dogs. And I am your horse. I'm your horse, Bradley the horse. That's my Sonic.
Bradley the horse.
Yep.
That's a good one. And I'm
Go slow? Nay.
and I'm Dylan the praying mantis.
You were the opossum.
Yeah.
I like praying mantis, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very alliterative, or it doesn't even flow correctly, but
You remember Sonic was the second episode we ever did. This is episode.
It was lore.
This is like 117 or something like that. I forget what it is.
it's something.
But yes, we haven't talked about Sonic in quite a while.
No, we haven't.
And
It's long overdue.
the previous Sonic we did was kind of, I think, like a lore bukkake.
Yeah, that was that one. You know, when you pitched this one too, I thought we were going to talk about the movies at first, so I was really excited because you said Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, and I was just like, oh, hell yeah.
That's actually all of them, right?
Yeah, that's all of them right now.
Yeah. That's funny that Knuckles did get his own show. And if you play the show actually at the same time as the third movie, it becomes a new experience.
One leads into the other.
No, you put the Blu-ray on top of the other in the...
Oh, gotcha. I really...
It's a newer thing.
I don't have enough money for a Blu-ray player.
It's a Blu-ray lock-on technology.
Oh, perfect.
And then if you put a DVD of anything else on top of it that's not Sonic, then you just get to play the Blue Sphere game.
Does it work on a Nintendo disc drive?
What is a Nintendo disc drive?
I don't know. I own one.
What is it for, like the Wii?
Yeah.
This is Raw Dogs. We're here today to discuss the blue man himself.
The Blue Blur.
The Blue Blur. Sonic the Hedgehog. This is going to be focusing on his 2D adventures. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the Genesis. His origins, but also the system.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Do you want me to explain it again? I'll do it slower.
No.
Okay. We'll jump into it. We're going to talk about 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles. We're going to talk about Mania. We're going to talk a little bit about 4, CD. And then if you want to jump into any of the other 2D stuff, I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know what we're...
That's fine.
We're just going to kind of hang out.
No, I've got opinions.
In the 1980s, Sega was having limited success with Genesis ports of its arcade games, and they wanted to take Nintendo head on. So in 1988, Sega of Japan held an in-house competition to create a rival mascot. Sega's president Hayao Nakayama wanted a character as iconic as Mickey Mouse. He got it.
He did.
Contest continued, and in 1990, Sega ordered its in-house development studio to develop a game with a mascot. The game would emphasize speed, so Sega considered fast creatures like kangaroos and squirrels.
I mean, they eventually did get a squirrel.
Never a kangaroo, but it would fit well in the universe.
I think there was what was Rocket Knight? That was a possum, though.
Yeah, I never played Rocket Knight.
It's good.
And then they also considered a rabbit that would grasp things with its ears, but it was too complex for the hardware. They did get a rabbit, right? Cream the rabbit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you feel about cream?
Sounds tasty. I think of like little Cadbury cream eggs.
I was thinking more of like a delicious rabbit stew. Yeah. Have you ever had rabbit stew?
Maybe. Or I make some in Suikoden too occasionally.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite recipes.
It's a good wild game.
Yeah. The team narrowed a search to animals that could roll into a ball. Their idea for an attacking move, and so they considered armadillos and hedgehogs. They also got an armadillo.
I like the armadillo.
Mighty is cool.
Yeah.
He's just got a little more... He's round, but he's a little more edgy.
He's also like he's more fun to play with than a lot of the other characters.
Ray is not good.
It's basically the Mario World cape.
Yeah, but
it's a little harder to handle.
I don't like the yellow design on Ray as much either.
Really?
He's okay.
I think it's just a color that they needed to use because they ran out of the other ones.
Yeah, you need those iconic colors.
But wasn't Mighty red also? Am I confusing things?
No, Mighty is red, but he was before Knuckles actually.
Oh, that's true.
Yep. So the Hedgehog was proposed by Naoto Oshima. Oshima went on vacation to New York, taking sketches with him. He went to Central Park and asked locals for their opinions on him. Fucking weird.
Have you seen some of those?
No.
They're actually pretty cool.
I know, well, actually, I've seen the one where they were thinking of Robotnik potentially being the protagonist.
Oh, that one's cool,
He's
too.
wearing like pajamas, and he looks cool.
Honestly,
It's a good design.
Honestly, that's a video game character that would do really well now. But back then, I don't think the Edge era, the 90s.
They got to do the prequel, and Robotnik was still a good guy.
Yeah.
Or his redemption arc late in the game.
Which he never really does.
And Vector the Crocodile will rise to his true villainy.
Oh, God. Yeah, that wouldn't be problematic.
I don't know anything about what's going on in the Sonic universe, Dylan. I'm going to be honest. I think there's a shadow guy who uses guns.
He does sometimes use guns.
And Sonic was a werewolf.
No,
A were-bear. Were-pig.
Werehog.
Close.
I mean...
a man with a mustache eventually became Dr. Robotnik with second place, but people like Sonic. Oshima was the character designer and game producer for Sega. He designed Phantasy Star 1 and 2, directed Sonic CD, Nights into Dreams, and Blinks 1 and 2. Never played Blinks. And he was the producer of Yoshi's Island DS, Blue Dragon, Ju-On the Grudge, Balan Wonderworld, and Sonic Superstars.
Balan Wonderworld.
You played that, right?
I played 5 minutes of it.
I think I own it. I think it was one of those free games.
It was.
And even then, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just has a stupid looking cover.
It's just...
And then I heard it was bad.
It's just unplayable.
Which, yeah, I was watching a video about Mighty Number 9 the other day. I was like, I remember that. Stupid Kickstarters.
Did you back that?
No. But I was curious about it. There was, that time period where the Kickstarters were happening for Mega Man and Symphony of the Night, and Suikoden's new spiritual successor,
which turned out fabulous.
I still don't have my backer awards.
Still.
Wow. And there's DLCs coming out. That's a little frustrating. But Sonic was originally teal colored, then a light blue, but was changed to dark blue to stand out from certain backgrounds and to match the Sega logo.
Smart,
if he's your boy, And according to Oshima, Sonic's basic design was created by combining Felix the cat's head with Mickey Mouse's body.
Yeah, I can see it.
And Popeye's wiener.
Well, he was created with sex appeal in mind.
I think that's obvious.
Yeah, I think it's clear.
When you see Sonic, you're like, this guy has been around the block.
I just,
If
you saw my stash,
I'll go slow for you.
Whoa. Thanks, Sonic.
For breakfast, we're having chili dogs.
Oh.
With eggs.
I mean, they make me a little gassy, but okay.
That's fine. I don't care.
Great.
Gotta eat it. Sonic's spikes were emphasized to make him sleeker, and he was given the ability to spin while jumping. So attacking and jumping could be controlled with one button. They wanted simple controls, which, back then was a virtue. And then it got to the age of, the 3D games, the PS1 and the 64.
Where everything is like a locking on mechanic. And
everything had to get complicated. And then
bad.
Yeah. And then the Wii comes back. It's like, nah, keep it simple.
As someone who's played Generations recently, I can tell you that I much prefer playing as classic Sonic to like modern Sonic. Modern Sonic's just not that fun, and it does not control all that well.
Are you talking about modern 2D Sonic or 3D, like the 3D Sonic?
So in Sonic Generations,
the two Sonics, the two, right?
Yeah, the two Sonics meet up.
Yeah.
It's kind of complicated, but not, because they're the same person somehow, but one now has like more sentience and can talk, and the other one's just a silent cartoon character.
Old Sonic, little chubby short Sonic.
Yeah, which I prefer that one.
Let the mascots be little chubbers.
Honestly, it's like when they made Pikachu not fat.
When they made Mario skinny.
Yeah, he used to be fatter, and I need more representation in my media.
I know. They're trying to just make it's unrealistic expectations that Mario's body has given me.
You don't think that Mario doesn't get done plumbing for the day and then cracks like 4 beers?
You just maybe really want a beer.
I mean, you could have one.
No, maybe a little bit.
It's fine.
But yes, Mario does crack open a beer.
Yeah, he's got to.
Yeah. And down the pipe.
Yeah, Sonic, though, is really interesting. At one point, he had there was a proposed human girlfriend for him. Did you know that?
Well, it did come to fruition.
Yeah.
And then we came to fruition.
Yeah, I've got that actually saved on my phone.
I know, that scene was so hot, and I just wish they could have finished it.
I wish they would have gone all the way, yeah.
Penetration. Whoa, this is great.
This is big dumb hands.
The new character was originally named Mr. Hedgehog, but the 8-member team changed his name to Sonic and took the name Sonic Team. Ideas proposed to flesh out the character included placing him in a rock band, giving him vampire fangs,
sure,
and giving him a human girlfriend named Madonna, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Madonna.
You can tell who was popular at the time. That's for fucking sure.
She's still around. Sonic's looking better than ever, though.
Sonic or Madonna, I'm not going to shame her, but holy hell, she looks like a gargoyle.
Well, and then there's aging like Cher, and I think Cher actually looks very good for her age.
I think she's more selective with her surgeries. Yeah.
Yep. She only does 90% of them instead of 200% of them.
Not to look like that cat lady who died. Do you remember the cat lady?
Yeah.
Who was on like Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Remember that shit.
Was
that Maury?
That was a wild show. Yeah. Ripley's Believe It or Not. This man's penis is now his middle finger. And I was like, I'm 10. Yeah. Why am I watching this?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Good stuff. According to Mark Cerny, who worked in Tokyo as an intermediary between the Japanese and American Sega offices, the American staff felt the character was unsalvageable. The American staff did not like Sonic. They made plans to educate Sonic Team on character design. They're like, let us teach you how to make a fucking character.
Just a buff guy.
Yes, and they brought in, for character design, the work of Will Vinton, the creator of the California Raisins. So, like, you want a real mascot.
Whoa, dude.
Check out these racist caricatures
Honestly,
of raisins.
The California Raisins must have had a video game.
I don't know.
They have to have.
The raisins did.
They were so big.
They did fuck, though.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, they play jazz. Of course they fuck.
I think it was good jazz from my recollection.
I don't really remember much. They used to replay them.
I mean, there were no Mac Tonight.
They used to, no. At MacDo. Remember that?
MacDo.
No, I remember having the toys for the California Raisins. They were like Posey and Bendable. Do you remember those?
Yep, we had those.
What was the push for selling raisins to kids?
Well, I think part of it is you can have 10 of them or 8 or 9 of them, so you had multiple ones they had to collect and go back to get the rest. I could see that being a thing. They probably were trying to compete with Mac Tonight as well. We need our own...
Yeah, but it's for raisins.
Which is weird, because I think they were like, California Raisins, is that like a
fast
brand food thing?
No, it's a Sun-Maid. It's the Sun-Maid brand. And, a lot of those are actually just as unhealthy as like little bits of candy. So it's like when you remember all the milk campaigns?
Dude, Don Draper was just like smoking a lot of weed when he came up with that ad pitch.
Oh my God.
Raisins, what do we got? I don't know. Make them a fucking jazz band.
Make them a jazz band.
Well, Yuji Naka was a programmer, a small but impressive career at Sega. He was the lead programmer of Phantasy Star 1, lead programmer and producer of Phantasy Star 2, programmer of Ghouls and Ghosts for Sega Genesis. He would go on to program Sonic 1 through 3, Knuckles, Nights into Dreams, and producer of Sonic 3 Knuckles, Sonic Jam, Sonic R, Sonic Adventure, Phantasy Star Online, Samba de Amigo, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Advance, Sonic Mega Collection, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Pinball Party, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, Phantasy Star Online Episode 3, Sonic Battle, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Advance 3, Sega Superstars, Sonic Gems Collection, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Rush, Sonic Riders, and Phantasy Star Universe. This dude's entire life
is Sonic the Hedgehog.
His career is Sonic and then a little tiny bit of Phantasy Star.
You think he would have done a better job at some point? Like, pump the brakes, buddy.
You know what? It's weird to creators that peak so hard and so early, like Lightning Strikes, and then they did make some good games for a while. But
I like Billy Hatcher.
It's just amazing how it's just all became very derivative and uninspired, and it just kind of lacked a creative flair so much of the time.
I think that Sonic has an inherent fan base that will never abandon him, and I kind of get it, but
it's been hard watching Sonic YouTube videos to get ready for this.
Why?
Because there is no middle ground. the people that make Sonic YouTube videos are in.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, this is probably my top 3 games of all time.
And it's just trash.
And it's like, it's Sonic CD. It's fine. It's like, what is so brilliant about this game is every single layer of story development. It's a darker, more depressed world. And I was like,
God,
what are we talking about? It's just, it's a mania.
I watched a guy, the Archie Comics Sonic line?
Yes, I know you're a big fan.
That went forever. No, I'm not.
No, you're a fan of the other Sonic comics?
I like the IDW one fine.
Because you like the Sally Acorn.
Well, Sally Acorn is the Archie Comics one.
But you like her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Me too.
She doesn't wear pants either, man.
Whoa.
Well, what are you hiding behind that fur, baby?
I can smell you from here, lady.
And I fell asleep to a video last night of someone reviewing all of it. And at one point, it sounded like he was going to cry out of like inspiration and joy.
Yeah.
While clips of some of the worst art by a guy named Ken Penders was like playing on the screen. And he's like, the emotion.
And it's got like with arms wide open playing in the background.
Oh, and then there like some of the shots were just pictures of Sonic, and he was like all cross-eyed and dopey looking. Like, I mean, he's not coming in that panel.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's
Sonic's
huge.
No, Sonic is a huge multimedia franchise. Yes, but Sega of America thought the character was unsalvageable. The antagonist was named Dr. Eggman in Japan, Dr. Robotnik in other regions as a result of a dispute between Sega's American and Japanese divisions. Oh, we already mentioned that?
I still think Robotnik is a better name.
Yeah.
They call him Eggman now.
He's Robotnik for me forever.
He might as well.
Eggman's a dumb name. Eggman's
stupid.
that's like a slanderous nickname. That's like what your high school bully would call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been called an Eggman. I guess I don't look like an egg.
Well, and then there's all. I mean, I don't know if it was derived from that Beatles song. I am the Eggman. I am the Walrus. Cuckoo, choo.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird when the Japanese name stuff. There's like usually some level of like, especially if it's just Eggman. Is he literally just Egguman?
Eggumano.
Yeah.
Sonica, go faster.
It's pretty good.
Yuji Naka came in, and he fucking put his balls on the table and said,
Oh yeah,
I want to go fast.
yeah.
This game has to be fast. Developed by a team of 7, 2 programmers, 2 sound engineers, and 3 designers. It began with Oshima and Naka, though. Project was assigned the code name Defeat Mario, which is pretty lame.
Yeah.
There's the gradient of Defeat Mario, and then there was like when Xbox wanted to defeat Nintendo and Sony, and they called their project Hiroshima. There's like a middle ground between, there's a middle ground in there somewhere between cool and edgy and not about a like horrible atrocity.
Why don't you just focus on making something good first?
Yeah.
Instead of having it be like, it's got to do A, B, C, D.
Project Hedgehog.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Oshima's rabbit was too hard to program, so catching items and throwing them caused the action's rhythm to break with the ears. They stated the rabbit was just not suitable, and they wanted the one button. Hirokazu Yasuhara came onto the team to supervise and develop levels. He became the lead designer due to his greater experience and found the way to make the game playable with just the one button. And the trio came up with the idea of him rolling into a ball. Tests were run using the Genesis's tool library, and problems such as flickering, slow frame rates, and shaky animation became apparent. Increasing Sonic speed caused animation problems, so they had to develop a new algorithm which retained fluidity. All that was left was to optimize the game speed to staff expectations. The team noticed that different people had different perceptions of the game's speed. Some believed it was too fast, which caused disagreements. As a result, it was slowed down. Sonic 1
think it's still pretty fast.
Sonic 1 is slower, though.
It is.
Yes. It's faster. I mean, for the time, it was fast, but...
Well, and then also you get to the idea that Sonic has a lot of platforming in that first one.
Yeah.
There are points where it just becomes weird platforming sections, which really fucks up what the game is supposed to be.
Well, the game, I guess, they probably didn't really know exactly what it was supposed to be, because part of them are like, Mario's a platformer. Defeat Mario. We need to make...
An athletic game.
An athletic type game. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there's more jumping and a little bit of exploration. The sweet spot of Sonic, doing loop-de-loops and running those lines, to me, is what is the best part of Sonic.
I think that, and it's the same problem with modern Sonic games, too, is that when you're moving as fast as the character is, you're not really looking at a lot around you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to create. Otherwise, you don't want your levels to be like a minute long. You want them to be like 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long.
Which is kind of where they were for the first couple games.
Yeah.
Then we'll get to Sonic CD, but Sonic CD was dropping like some 5-minute, 6-minute levels.
Oh, yeah. Annoying.
And yeah, just a different focus. Level design was a major challenge. Maps were much wider than normal and tried to ensure players would not get lost. So if you see a Sonic map laid straight out, it is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Because Mario levels, they're like 30 seconds, a minute.
Sure.
And he doesn't move that fast. But there's a lot of verticality, a lot of exploration.
Yep.
Oshima, Naka, and Yasuhara worked 19 hours a day for several months.
No.
You and I know about working many hours.
No. I basically did 12 hours today, so I'm not interested.
No. It's just a different mindset. The game underwent extensive testing and redesign, took over 6 months. They also intended to include a sound test with animations of Sonic breakdancing to a band of animal characters, including a crocodile keyboardist who was later introduced in the series as Vector the Crocodile.
So they really got hung up on that guy.
I'm a big Vector guy.
Are you really? Why?
Well, when Knuckles Chaotix...
What part do you like about him?
We had Knuckles Chaotix for the 32 hours.
Oh, really?
And to me, I just thought he was a cool guy. Crocodile, you got me. He wore headphones.
Yeah, and now he's got like gold chains and stuff.
I didn't like his later work. No, it's like I prefer the original Killer Croc, not the Suicide Squad Croc.
It's so weird. When I was playing Generations, the opening is basically a birthday celebration for Sonic, and it's just a bunch of characters. I'm like, who are you?
Where did you come from?
I'm like, what the fuck are you even doing here? Rouge the Bat, you're like the enemy.
They don't care. They all agree to worship Sonic.
It's fine.
So music was done by Masato Nakamura, bassist and songwriter of the J-pop band Dreams Come True. He was surprised at the offer to do the soundtrack as he had just started the band, and he also stated that he was limited by the Genesis hardware, with only 4 sounds being able to play concurrently. Sonic was not revealed until January 1991 at the International Consumer Electronics Show because Sega wanted to wait until the right time, and they saw an opportunity to steal the show. He was believed to be the most impressive game at the show and won the CES award for innovation. That game
you can see why the animation speed, the clarity of it. They made a very tight video game that I think is extremely flawed. But at the time, I think that this impressed people the same way that like Donkey Kong Country did. Yep. Eventually, I think it was kind of the same thing.
It was the fact that you had never seen anything like this. You had never seen a game that played so fast. The soundtrack was a bop. It was...
Oh, Green Hill Zone alone.
It was unlike anything you had played before.
Yeah.
And, Mario's the best at what he does, but Sonic comes on and a little bit of attitude. I was growing up. I was getting Edgy. I was, 9 years old. No, I wasn't. I was 3 when Sonic 1 came out.
I was going to say, what the fuck?
I was probably 5 or 6 when I remember playing Sonic. I don't know.
One of my earliest memories is being at a friend's house, and they had a Sega Genesis. I must have been 2 or 3, so it would have been long after the game was released.
Yeah.
But I remember vividly going like, what? Video games are like this?
He can go that fast.
He loop-de-loops. There are 3D, like,
It's exciting.
oh my God.
And it feels technically beyond what you're doing. You're holding right.
I know.
And then all of a sudden Sonic is like doing some really cool stuff and you feel great about it, despite the fact that a lot of it's got some DNA of like a rhythm game. It's got DNA of
I think you're right.
And it's just like responses, button mash, like hitting the timing. It's not the first time someone's made the comparison to like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater line, but
there's always the upper route, the bottom route, and the middle of the line route for each level.
Yeah.
Most of the good shit is up top.
Yep.
The worst shit is down below, where you're going to have a lot more troubles because you fucked yourself.
Underwater a little bit more.
I hate water sections in Sonic games.
And they are bad. They are not well designed. Sonic is worse when he's going slow.
Yeah.
And it's worse when it's platform oriented, and that is slow, platform oriented, timed nonsense. Sega of America CEO Tom Kalinske wanted reassurance this would not fail. The global head of marketing, Al Nilsson, and the senior project manager, Madeline Schrader, became involved in redesigning Sonic for American audiences. Artist Greg Martin was commissioned to redesign the character, and a new backstory was created where Sonic was from Nebraska. They can't like this guy. What is he, a hedgehog? How about we make him from Nebraska? They'll relate.
And the first Sonic movie takes place mainly in Montana, so that's interesting.
Well, Montana is famously much better than Nebraska.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Almost every state. I don't know other states I'd put above Nebraska.
It's just, I don't know.
If you're from Nebraska, please write in and let us know what is redeeming.
And how's the corn doing?
How's that long road that I had to drive through a couple times and I saw nothing but a flock of birds?
That place is cool though. They should put up a plaque.
That was great. So Sonic the Hedgehog released June 23rd, 1991 in North America, and a month later in Japan. November 1991, Sega of America included Sonic as a pack-in game with the American Genesis consoles, replacing Altered Beast. A very shrewd choice.
A smart choice.
Genesis owners who bought their consoles before the Switch could request free copies of Sonic the Hedgehog by mail.
Depending on...
If you had gotten Altered Beast, if you bought it beforehand... This is just what I saw on Wikipedia. There's probably like an offer. Hey, send in your proof of purchase and a receipt, and we'll send you a copy of Sonic.
That's nice of them, I guess.
Every copy of like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 that I've seen has that not for resale sticker because it was like a pack-in.
Yeah,
you know,
sure. I always thought those were for like rental copies.
They probably were too, but I don't know. I feel like it's weird to
and people proceeded to resell them all the time.
Still do. Midwest Gaming Classic coming up. Naka's relationship with Sega was tenuous during this time, and he received little credit for his work, so he left the company. Sonic the Hedgehog, commercial success, best-selling video game for several months in 1991. By Christmas of that year, Sonic had sold nearly 1 million game cartridges in the U.S. alone. Big numbers.
That's huge for the time, yeah.
And also Blockbuster Video's highest renting game of the year, which is a fun stat that does not exist anymore.
Nope.
During October through December of that year.
I don't know. I think I'm thinking of opening one. Sure.
I'm in. I'll come over. I'll rent from you.
Okay.
During October to December of that year, Genesis outsold the SNES 2-1, and its January 1992 peak, it gained a foothold in the industry and had 65% of the market for 16-bit consoles.
They really did succeed in basically calling Nintendo the baby console.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting because I remember a lot more Nintendo properties than I do Genesis and like Sega.
You know, Sega was great, but when you look back on it, the Super Nintendo was the home of the games that I remember the most from that generation.
Yeah.
Sega doesn't even have a lot that stands out to me.
There's a
lot of people who are triggering by saying that, and believe you me, I played a lot of Sega games. I played, Vector Man and Addams Family, Three Ninjas, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I played
some Turtles,
lots of Streets of Rage,
and they're all fine. But I don't know, the SNES really stood out to me. Mortal Kombat, of course. We got to play our games.
Sure,
but although Nintendo did overtake Sega, it was the first time since December 1985 Nintendo did not lead the console market. So, big deal. We don't need to talk about too much of the gameplay.
No. I think that if you're here, I don't know. I think it's ubiquitous. I think people know what this is. I think it's like there are some people out there who have never played a Mario game, but odds are like 9 times out of 10, someone has touched a Mario video game.
I bet the number of people that have never touched a Mario video game that could identify Bowser,
Sure.
Yeah. But there's no spin dash.
Oh.
Which
it's why I cannot play the game.
Every time you play Sonic 1 and you go to spin dash and it doesn't work, it's just...
That actually gave me shivers. I hate playing Sonic 1.
You're nonplussed. It's uncomfortable. And it's not as fast.
No.
Everyone knows what's going on. I did find something I wanted to bring up to you. There's a certain Badnik, one of the little animal buddies that you free the animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a race of chicken that are close friends with Sonic, constantly hunted by Dr. Eggman, and its name is Cucky. Not Clucky, Cucky.
That's hot, though.
Yes. I thought you would enjoy that.
I mean, Cucky. What? How did that come up?
I don't know. I was just looking through the Wikipedia page. Bonus stages have been different every game. This one, collect 50 rings. You can complete the stage to enter, complete all 6 stages, and complete the final zone to get the good ending. This is where you fall through a series of rotating mazes that constantly spin, and you try and get to the center. Hate it?
Hate it.
Hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Never liked it.
It's the whole death egg thing.
It's not good. There are cheats. You can do a level select, a debug mode / invincibility. For a sequel, Yuji Naka had left due to disagreements over his salary and a lack of support from management. Yasuhara moved to America and joined the Sega Technical Institute. And Mark Cerny traveled to Japan and convinced Yuji Naka to come work in America.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And Oshima stayed in Japan to work on Sonic CD. Cerny pitched Sonic 2 as their project for 1992. 11 months of development was pitched, but Sega was wishy-washy for a couple months, so it became 9 months of development.
Whoa.
And so concurrently, at the same time, you have the American Sonic team making Sonic 2 and the Japanese Sonic team, in Japan making Sonic CD.
It shows.
Yes. I think. It's interesting that it's got like split down the middle ideologies for Sonic games.
Yeah. Sonic CD is a very good looking video game.
To me, it's very garish. It's sharp. Yeah. There's just too many colors, too many things popping.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then the side, like the top-down racing, when you see Sonic from the top, it's weird shit.
It lacks a uniformity.
No, yeah.
Where it's like color schemes that like kind of give the levels an identity. And I mean, Sonic CD really focused on exploration and kind of like weird story stuff with like time travel.
It's true.
And Sonic 2 is like, we're going to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing that they decided to make Sonic faster. The spin dash was designed to remove the need for backtracking for momentum. God bless.
Oh.
God bless. Thank you.
Especially when he moves so slow to begin with.
But Yasuhara wanted to add a second playable character so siblings could play together. Naka suggested the second character be endearing, similar to the Kitsune from Urose Natsura. And I wasn't sure if you know.
No, I don't. I was lying.
And beginner-oriented rather than Sonic's rival. This is not meant to be an equal
playable character, yeah.
SCI wanted the character to appeal to Japanese audiences, and Yamaguchi gave him 2 tails. Inspired by the Phantasy Star character Meow, to make the character design more impactful, he based Sonic and Tails' relationship on that of the Dragon Ball characters Piccolo and Gohan.
No, that's not bad.
Sure. Sega of America thought the name Miles Per Hour would not sell, and they suggested Tails. as an alternative. Nilsson developed.
That's correct, though.
Yes, Miles Prower is I get your pun. It's not good enough. Miles,
Well, especially when Sonic doesn't have a last name.
the Hedgehog. I don't know if that's true.
No, it can't be.
Yes, but that Miles has, he's from the long line of Prowers.
He is called Tails the Fox, but you never see it like written out.
Well, and actually in Europe, he's Meters Prower.
Nice.
If you like that joke, you can write us a review. If you didn't like that joke, write us a review.
When I'm playing football, I call it yards per hour.
Yards per hour.
Oh, God.
Yo, Yards, come here. So yes, they compromised by making Tails his nickname. So Miles Prower is the canon name.
Miles Tails Prower. Ugh.
Turns out, though, the development was complicated in America by the cultural and language barriers between the Japanese and American developers working on Sonic 2. The Japanese wanted to do crunch, and Cerny noted that they often worked through the night and slept in their crucibles. In contrast, the Americans locked the STI offices at night and didn't want people in there. They were called Yasuhara was easy to work with, and Yuji Naka was an arrogant pain in the ass, not interested in working with Americans.
Yeah. He would eventually, didn't he do like a lot of insider trading and shit?
He got arrested for a couple things.
Yeah.
Due to time constraints, the game was about a third the size they had hoped for with Sonic 2. One cut level was referred to as Genocide City.
Nice.
It was deemed possibly offensive, so they changed it to Cyber City. Sonic 2 was not playable from start to finish until the last 48 hours of development.
Ugh.
Scary. In total, over 100 people worked on Sonic 2, and the main team comprised 20 developers, so much bigger team than Sonic 1. Kind of makes sense.
But you've already got the skeleton.
$10 million of advertising. It was featured on Nick Arcade between the siblings of Clarissa Explains It All.
Nice.
I'm sure they sucked at it. Maybe Danny Tamborelli was good. I don't know. Melissa Joan Hart, I haven't seen it.
Danny Tamborelli wasn't on that.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Ferguson,
yeah. No one's going to know his name.
Oh, you mean Roger Theremin?
Wow.
If that was right, that would be a miracle.
Of the famous Theremin clan who built the Theremin?
Yes.
Wow, cool.
We're on to it. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yes, Spin Dash. Same thing. Checkpoints. Blah, blah, blah. Chaos Emeralds.
I mean, this is the best one.
The bonus stage, you run down the half pipe, an improvement. Not my favorite, but still very cool.
I like the the weird pinball one.
Yes.
I like that one.
But this is the half pipe.
The half pipe is fine. It's certainly visually impressive for the time.
Yeah. It has that going for it. There's a multiplayer mode. 2 players compete against each other in a split screen race across 3 levels.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good addition.
And cheat codes. You could change Tails' name to Miles with the cheat code. Wow.
Oh.
Released November 21st, 1992 in Japan. And
That's the only way I play, baby.
I would refuse to play as Tails.
Oh.
It's such a dumb name. 3 days later, worldwide, so yeah, 1992, sold 400,000 copies in a week, 750K in a week in the UK. Grossed $450 million in 1992. Those are some big numbers.
Yeah.
And sold 6 million copies by August 2006, making it the second best-selling Genesis game behind Sonic 1. Now, did you play much of Sonic CD? Have you beaten Sonic CD? I have not.
No. I did find it obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was drawn in initially from the excellent anime opening.
Yes, made by Toei Animation.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. And yeah, great anime opening. Uses the first game code as a base, conceived as an enhanced port before it developed into a separate project. Sonic 2 had a stronger focus on speed, where CD focused more on platforming and exploration aspects. Debut of Amy Rose and Metal Sonic. Her headband and trainer shoes reflected Oshima's tastes, while her mannerisms reflected the traits Hoshino looked for in women at the time. You can tell.
I mean, they're all kind of like children, right? I mean, that was always I never saw Sonic as an adult.
If you think that she's just a children little pink hedgehog and not a fierce woman, I don't know what game you're playing, because you saw her shoes, right?
I mean, she's kind of obsessed with Sonic.
And her mannerisms, I get it.
You go, girl.
Amy, you're killing it.
Girl, get it.
Get it. Soundtrack was composed by Naofumi Hataya and Masafumi Ogata. It was the first Sonic game to feature vocal tracks. The opening and ending songs were titled Sonic, You Can Do Anything, and Cosmic Eternity, Believe in Yourself.
Yeah,
that checks out.
That's awesome, though. They're good songs.
The release of Sonic CD was delayed to have an entirely new soundtrack in North America, composed by Spencer Nilsson, who had composed soundtracks for other Sega CD games with the help of David Young. Yes, a new song performed by Nelson and the band Pastiche named Sonic Boom was used for the opening and ending of the game.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah. There is the Spin Dash, but there's also something called the Super Peel Out. Mm-hmm. The Super Peel Out, like the Spin Dash, but this allows the user to attain great speeds from a standing start. As such, the move lets the users reach higher speeds than the Spin Dash can. You can continue to accelerate without first jumping to get out of the spin attack position. The Super Peel Out will last until the user either jumps or slows down. But unlike the Spin Dash, it doesn't damage enemies, and you're susceptible.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Time travel. Blah, blah, blah. And the bonus stage is kind of like in Sonic Mania, the bonus stage where you're running on that open field and collecting. CD released September 23, 1993. North America, November 1993, alongside Sonic Chaos and Sonic Spinball, and sold more than 1.5 million copies.
I think that lends credence to the idea that not a lot of people had Sega CD.
Yeah, I've never saw one in person until I went to a gaming convention.
Yeah, I never touched one.
Much like Sonic 2, Sonic 3 was developed in California by the Sega Technical Institute, and Yuji Naka refused to develop another Sonic game if he had to work with Americans again. This guy sounds like a little bit of a diva.
He probably just didn't think we were hardcore enough.
You don't work 19 hours?
That is not a life. How do you bathe?
It's not about... Well, I mean, you can bathe after you die. We're going fast tonight.
It's true.
This game comes out in 8 months, you know?
I've been told my entire life I have to bathe. You mean I can just stop?
Move to Japan.
Nice.
The less you bathe, the more you get rewarded over there.
Ooh, they'll call me the stinky gaijin.
Here's a stinky gaijin, but he's very good at doing games. I'm sorry for my Japanese impression.
It's kind of wild.
Is it okay?
It's not.
Oh. The American team would work on Sonic Spinball, and the Japanese team would work on Sonic 3 in January 1993.
Oh, Spinball. That game sucks balls, but I rented it so many times.
Not a bad concept, but a horrible execution.
Yes. There are people who will defend that piece of trash.
I'll defend that I played a lot of it.
I played a lot of it too, but when you're young and dumb, you're not as discerning.
Yeah. It's Sonic.
But I could never get to level 2.
The physics are just what's so wrong.
It's basically not a pinball game.
Sonic 3 was conceived as an isometric game, but was retooled to reuse the Sonic 2 engine after they fucking realized that was a bad idea.
Yeah, not smart.
The team wanted a deeper story to expand the Sonic world, which nobody asked for.
No.
Not a single person's like,
Nobody knows the story.
no one ever asks, but why is Sonic going fast? No one cares. It's Sonic. He wants to save Cookie. The levels are triple the size
Save him from himself.
Save Cookie.
Yeah.
The levels are triple the size of Sonic 2 with an added emphasis on exploration and discovery. Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles originally planned as a single game, but the manufacturing cost of a 34 megabit cartridge with NVRAM would have been much too expensive.
Right.
So due to the game's scope and Sega of America's commitment to launch a major McDonald's Happy Meal promotion in February 1994, they had to do something about it.
I had some of those toys.
Yeah. Great toys.
Yeah, it was like one of those pullback Sonics.
Very cool.
That's the one you wanted, but I never got it.
With the February 1994 deadline approaching, the developers reluctantly were forced to split the game into two. The first half of the levels, which would be released for the McDonald's promotion, were codenamed Sonic 3A, while Sonic 3B would encompass the remaining ones. Fucking so weird. Only Sega's out here doing this nonsense of cartridges, fucking cartridges.
It's just...
It's a cool idea.
It is cool.
That was split into half, and Sonic and Knuckles cartridges lock-on technology was created, named, and implemented so Sonic 3 could be experienced as intended. Knuckles the Echidna, many designs were considered. For the final design, Takashi Yuta chose the kind of animal, and Pamela Kelly chose the name.
It's an echidna.
Yes.
Have you seen like a real echidna, like pictures?
Yeah. They're red, a lot of attitude. They have knuckle gloves.
Yeah. Good punchers.
Good punchers. They kind of sound like Idris Elba.
Honestly, I think Knuckles would have been better served as like a bear character, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I love Knuckles.
Yes. Knuckles is somehow Sonic was cool. Knuckles is way cooler.
Knuckles is rad as shit, and also my favorite character from the movies, and obviously the show named after him.
Yeah, but that's only because Big the Cat has not been introduced yet.
Oof. Have you seen the end credits of Sonic 3?
Is he in it?
Yeah, totally.
No,
Yeah.
No.
Who's
playing him?
Me.
No.
Yeah, I'm playing Big the Cat.
It was really the only choice. Yuta envisioned him.
Come here, Froggy.
Come here. I'm Dylan. I'm big.
Take it again, Dylan.
Yuta envisioned Knuckles as a supporting character and felt he would make a good playable character. Where Sonic symbolized speed, Knuckles symbolized power. And the emphasis on the character was to break walls. His shoe coloration was inspired by Jamaica's flag. The original name for the character was Dreads, referring to his dreadlocks. Not as good of a name.
Knuckles is way better.
Dreads would not age well. It's not like, it just doesn't, it's not cool.
Is Knuckles canonically black?
We'd have to ask the black community, but I think they would all.
I think they all
want him.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah. I mean, there's nothing to hate.
No.
Yeah.
No. Knuckles is someone you want on your team.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's black. Kind of like the Ninja Turtles.
All four turtles?
Yeah, because they're all brothers.
I guess, weren't they like changed to humans at one point and they were all black?
Yeah, in the comics, yeah.
Nice. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
What race is Tails? He's
boy.
very white.
Super white.
Unusually white.
He's the player that thinks that they're Sonic.
How about, who's Sonic? What kind of race?
Tails might be Japanese. I think Sonic's definitely
very American.
Yeah.
Okay. Although uncredited, Michael Jackson worked...
White, not American.
Although uncredited... speaking of... Michael Jackson worked on the game's soundtrack alongside keyboardist Brad Buxer.
Which he denied for a very long time.
The artist's contributions were merely a speculation for 15 years up to December 2009 between Buxer and the French Black and White magazine, where the producer confirmed Michael Jackson's involvement. However, according to Buxer himself, Jackson got to hear how the composition sounded on Sega Genesis, all compressed and crushed, and he was so dissatisfied he left the project completely and didn't want his name on it.
I forget which level, but it's basically Smooth Criminal. I forget which level it is.
And there's a Sega Game Gear song for one of those Sonic games that is just a Janet Jackson song 1-to-1 almost. It's weird. There's a lot of crossover, which I don't know if they were inspired by other pop songs at the time. I don't know. This is chicken and egg.
I just think that Sonic had cool shoes, and that
he did.
Mario wasn't like hip enough for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You can't picture him saying, "I love you, Mario."
No.
I love you, Mario.
I don't know what band would, what musician would Mario want to help make the soundtrack? Chapel Rowan? No.
I mean, now or then when it first came out.
We're not qualified.
No.
This would be a Tyler question. He'd be like, My Chemical Romance for sure, all the way down, 10 times, Black Parade.
Oof.
Yes. And then on June 23rd, 2022, Yuji Naka revealed the co-creator revealed his concern over Michael's music not being featured, even though Sega used Billie Jean in a promo. He said, "Oh my God, the music for Sonic 3 has changed. Even though Sega officials uses Michael Jackson's music, it was a non-disclosure agreement. Blah blah blah. Michael Jackson helped make the music. Sonic 3, pretty good game.
It's good, yeah, very good.
It's a little too big for its britches. It's a little unwieldy, but I love the new power-ups. The flame shield, the little like lightning double jump magnet guy.
That one's cool.
And the bouncy water bubble.
Yeah.
All of those are fun.
Well implemented.
And it's a fun way to give yourself a little extra life or a bonus hit. And it's just it changes the gameplay in a cool way.
Yeah. I think that there's only so much you can do to what the game is itself besides add on to it. And you have to be careful about what you add to something that is already kind of beloved. It's like, you know, like how in some Mario games you get some really dumb power-ups and you're just like, what the fuck is this shit?
And they're just, because they're trying to innovate. They're trying to do something new.
Like in the first Mario Galaxy where he turns into a boo.
It's not great, but it's not terrible.
It's fine.
Yes, Sonic 3 definitely just feels like a continuation of Sonic 2, but it's also bigger emphasis on story, and they just tried to make the scope a lot bigger. Mostly, though, I love the level design. Yeah.
The environments are better. The textures are nicer. They've really got a grasp on what the Sega Genesis could do.
And the first time, you open the game as Super Sonic, and Knuckles stops you, takes your Chaos Emeralds, throws you down a ravine, and laughs at you.
It's true.
And I remember being pissed as a kid.
Talk about cookie.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Here we are having a good time. This asshole. But whatever. Special stages, Blue Sphere, love it.
Oh, yeah, with the dots.
Yeah. It's got like little Pac-Man sounds almost.
You got to turn real quick. Love that shit.
Yeah. Blue Sphere was... I'm usually always down to take a break from whatever Sonic level I'm in. I'm like, I go play a quick one.
It's basically like Snake that you have to plan.
Yeah, and it just gets faster and faster, which is fun. Released North America, February 2nd, 1994. Instead of Groundhog Day, we got Hedgehog Day. Eat that, Bill Murray.
God.
And in Japan, the game was not released at this time due to the lack of a McDonald's promotion there in February. Because we live and die by our McDonald's Happy Meal promotions.
Honestly, I actually watched a video of all the promotions.
Yeah.
For America, and it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about one here in a second.
I don't usually have like nostalgia explosions because I think that's stupid and silly.
Yeah.
But for some reason, McDonald's toys were so coveted in my head.
They were big.
That I remembered so many of them past 1993.
Oh, and this was the biggest time for that kind of promotion too. Yeah. Every like Disney movie, anything that mattered had a promotion over there. And then when Pokemon was there, forget about it.
It made it feel like the most important fucking thing on earth.
And it was.
To me, it was.
Well, and then you have kids.
It certainly wasn't school.
Kids just begging, please.
Oh, man.
Without any time constraints, the developers intended to release an exclusive edition in Japan containing the levels of Sonic and 3 as well as that in Sonic and Knuckles. However, copies of the game from the other regions were being unofficially shipped, so they abandoned the concept. and released Sonic 3 on its own. Sonic and Knuckles, the lock-on technology. The top of Sonic and Knuckles cartridge has an additional cartridge adapter slot, allowing players to insert different Sonic the Hedgehog game cartridges into the Sonic Mega Drive into it. Boom, boom, boom. You're making a fucking Megazord, a Transformer.
Honestly, what they should have done was use this technology for other games.
Yes. Do something with it. I don't know.
Add like Streets of Rage characters from Streets of Rage 2 into Streets of Rage 1 or something.
Well, and they had the copyright to the technology, but I think it's just an unwieldy thing.
I guess.
And you really need something substantial. Like Sonic could barely probably carry this, but it's not a bad idea. Like if Pokemon had this, where you attach something into your Game Boy before Pokemon on top of it, and it added 50 Pokemon there, that would have sold like insanity.
The link cable achieves that.
Yeah. So, yes, you can play Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles into one game. You can play Knuckles in Sonic 2, which is just cool. Sonic 2, but you play as Knuckles. And you can't do it with Sonic 1.
Yeah.
But and then almost any other Mega Drive game allows you to play Blue Sphere. This feature offers new additions to those games. Sonic 2 and Knuckles, identical, only a couple changes. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, 14 zones altogether. And the only game to allow the player to upgrade the Chaos Emeralds into Super Emeralds that would allow hyper transformations.
Oh, hell yeah.
YouTube has been very aggressive towards me lately because I watched a few Sonic videos.
Oh, yeah. I hate that shit.
And there was one that says, why Hyper Tails matters.
I saw that exact same video.
And I was like, I don't have enough time in the world to watch a 20-minute video on why Hyper Tails matters.
I feel like I would just get really sad. You know, it's one of those things where I do appreciate someone else's joy for something, but when they try to take something like Sonic the Hedgehog and try to make it profound and literary or something is so weird to me.
The importance of Hyper Tails cannot be understated.
Did you watch the first part?
No, that's just me.
That's just you.
That's just my.
That's just a guess. It honestly sounded like something. Maybe you should make one.
In a world where Sonic has always had control of the Chaos Emeralds, Miles never had a chance to shine.
Oh,
everyone remembers Knuckles, but what about my boy Miles per hour? That's right, he's fast too.
You're doing the facial expressions too, which really bugged me out.
And my facial expressions would be described as Daenerys Targaryen. Yeah, Amelia Clark's eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yep. And Blue Sphere has 134,217,728 levels on it.
Nice. Which
are played in sequence. Once a player reaches the final level, it repeats from the beginning. In fact, though, there are only 128,016,000 distinct level layouts. Lame.
Yeah.
Released October 18th, 1994, around the same time as Donkey Kong Country. Backed by a $45 million marketing campaign, Blockbuster Video and MTV co-sponsored a tournament in which children were allowed to play Sonic and Knuckles. The final tournament was held at Alcatraz Island in San Francisco.
That's so fucking weird.
With a prize of $25,000 and the title, The World's Most Hardcore Gamer.
You can't run from prison, kids.
You can watch this entire video on YouTube.
I don't want
It's like 25 minutes of people playing Sonic the Hedgehog on Alcatraz.
Oh, boy.
Yes, MTV broadcast it along with footage from the game titled MTV's Rock the Rock.
Why?
Did you ever play Sonic 4?
No. I was too old and jaded, but also...
And you cared too much about yourself?
Well, the internet was ubiquitous around the time, and I could read reviews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do a mobile sequel. That'll work out great.
Yeah. Or a split episode sequel.
Just baffling. We don't need to really talk about it too much. They added a homing attack. They brought some modern contrivances into...
Well, the homing attack was in the 3D Sonics.
Yes. No, but they brought some of the modern stuff into Sonic 4. Suffice it to say, 2010, October 7th, episode 1 was released.
Oh, wow, that was not that long ago.
May 15th, 2012, episode 2. There was an episode medal that was going to be released. And wait, maybe it was released. I don't fucking know. Episode 3 was planned but canceled. Sonic the Hedgehog 4, I've beaten it on a phone.
Really?
Yes.
Was it made specifically for phones? Because I saw it on the PlayStation Store and shit like that.
It was made for phones, and then they realized there would be money doing it elsewhere. So then you got really shitty ports of it.
Because I remember it looking like absolute dog shit.
It looks horrible.
Yeah.
It looks horrible. It plays horrible. It's designed to be played, like...
With touch.
Mm-hmm. And yes, it is a slap in the face to those that wanted a new 2D Sonic, and they put Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on it like it was a real sequel to 4.
And to be fair, so many of them by this point were already stinkers. Sonic had already become a joke.
Yes.
So Sonic and his shitty friends is what the internet would call him.
I think, yeah, because I didn't play 06. I barely touched Adventure 1 and 2.
I
was
played
excited
a lot
about
of
Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes
because my boy Vector was back, and I was ready to go back in.
Sonic Heroes was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't special. Not really. There wasn't really... it was supposed to be an evolution off of 2, but they should have just made Adventure 3.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Sonic Mania, but here's an opportunity for you, Dylan, if you have any thoughts about Sonic Advance 1 through 3, Sonic Rush DS, Rush Adventure DS, Colors DS, Generations, or Superstars.
Okay.
The floor is yours. What other 2D Sonics besides Mania matter?
I had played Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3.
They're supposed to be okay, right?
The second one is really fucking good.
Yeah.
The second one kind of rocks. It's awesome. And honestly, the first one isn't that bad, but the second one has just more flow to it. They kind of got what they were doing with the Game Boy Advance hardware.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Rush that was on the DS. It was fine. I thought Blaze the Cat was very stupid.
Yeah, I forget about her.
Yeah.
She's just like Lady Shadow.
She's still hanging around.
Is she cool?
She's also a time traveler.
Is she good?
She's cool. She has pyrokinesis.
Whoa.
That's why she's called Blaze. She's like a psychic with pyrokinesis, which is a cool power, but I don't know about that in a fucking Sonic video game. These are just supposed to be animals, Yeah. They don't need to have special abilities. I didn't really love Rush. I remember selling it before I went to college. Superstars.
2023.
Yep. I like it. It's good.
I think I played that one.
It's
not as good though.
It's
the 2D
fun.
The 2D stuff feels like the camera moves in and out.
Also, Sonic does move slower, but that's on purpose because it's meant to be playable with other people, and they're not just like the little kid, like the little brother mode.
Yeah,
it's literally that you can kind of do it like the Mario games end up becoming.
I don't like it.
I enjoy the game quite a bit, and I think that it's still a very good video game, and the level design has some really good stuff going for it. I think it's a 7 out of 10 for me.
It's just it's a different set of physics for Sonic, and that is always it's either right or it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Generations.
Generations.
That's a cool concept.
Generations is cool until you get to the 3D fucking Sonic parts that don't really work. Because some of the movements that Sonic has in that are just like really obtuse and strange.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know if you're doing like the strafing maneuver, like the strafing way of moving. So you're like shifting lanes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know if you just have full on control. And then things pop up at you very quickly because you're running straight at them. But the camera's not angled quite high enough for you to see like right in front of you.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, and also he has like boost abilities, and I don't know. I never liked it when Sonic can just like jump in the air and then you just press attack, attack, attack. There's no aiming involved. It auto locks.
There's auto lock is cool in some scenarios, but yes, I see your point.
But the great thing about the old, like the 2D style Sonic, is that they add a function where your spin dash is mapped to your trigger, your R2 button.
Okay.
And you just can immediately do it. And he'll be at full like pace.
That is fun.
It's really good and it works perfectly. And it makes that game so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas modern Sonic somehow has like a dash meter that you have to build up.
Yeah.
It's a boost meter.
Yes, I haven't finished a Sonic game since the original ones we talked about, Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, until Sonic Mania.
I think you would like Frontiers.
Oh, yeah, Sonic Frontiers.
It's very good. I think that is like an 8.25.
You're in a Sonic thing right now.
I am. And I've played quite a bit of them. But, you know, it's mostly I got Generations for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Generations,
Yes.
which is a completely new game.
It's a new game. It's not just the same game with Shadow.
Think of it as Bowser's Fury for Sonic Generations.
Maybe I'll play it.
It's honestly, the Shadow stuff is pretty good.
Now,
They're getting the hang of it. Finally.
Sonic Mania.
Yes.
What a fucking game. Development began in 2015 with Sonic Team desiring to make a new 2D Sonic game that's not a remake, led by Australian programmer Christian Taxman Whitehead.
He's good.
And Simon Tomley. Christian Whitehead has been a long-time and well-known user on the Sonic fan site Sonic Retro, where he has released several fan games, the most well-known being Retro Sonic in 2009. He recorded a video about a concept demo for Sonic CD that ran on his own game engine, the Retro Engine. In August 2011, Whitehead confirmed the re-release of Sonic the Hedgehog CD powered by his Retro Engine. The port was successful, and in March 2013, the Windows Phone version of the re-release has won the Game of the Year category for the Pocket Gamer Awards.
Wow.
It's awesome that Sega and Sonic Team reached out to someone doing fan stuff.
I think they were just...
Letting the fans do it is not something you could ever see other
true.
companies doing. Nintendo would slap so many lawsuits.
Okay, so imagine you're the captain of a ship and your ship just sank. And then another boat comes over and then someone helps you up onto the boat and you go, "Oh, you should be the captain."
Yeah.
Because it seems like you haven't crashed your boat yet.
And Yuji Naka is meanwhile committing tax fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just super cool that they recognize these stories should happen more often. The people that have been making the Oblivion, like Sky Oblivion, like an ultra modded version of Oblivion in Skyrim, they've been working on that shit for 4 years. I occasionally just watch, like, I'll probably never play it, but it's fun watching, like, the work they do and the texture maps and, like, doing the dialogue and all of it. It's crazy. And then they're going to do the half-assed Oblivion remake.
It's going to look awful.
It's going to look awful. It's like, why not just... The fans have it. As long as you just give them a little credit and a little money, everyone would be happy.
I think they should just... Because in my opinion, Bethesda is unless it's like not just Bethesda, like Bethesda as a publisher, but like standard like Bethesda games have so much work to do to gain my confidence back.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
When they shadow drop...
I am not excited for Elder Scrolls 6. There was a time 5 years ago where I might have been, but that was 9 years out. Oh my God.
Yeah. And yes, but after developing Sonic Mania for a few months, Whitehead presented a prototype, which he called Sonic Discovery, to series producer Takashi Iizuka. Iizuka was receptive and suggested it should include old levels from the early Sonic games it was inspired by, remixed in a way that felt new.
And he did a good job.
There will be moments where you feel a lot of like deja vu.
Yes.
And it's very cool. The developers modeled the gameplay on Sonic 3 with each zone consisting of 2 acts and a boss fight at the end of each. For returning stages, the designers made the first act feel familiar and introduced new elements in the second act.
That was the smartest thing that they did.
It's hitting all of those points of nostalgia and also just spinning new innovations and creativity all over the place. Musical score was composed by T. Lopez of Pagoda West Games, consisting of rearranged pieces from previous Sonic games with new material. The drop dash was added.
Smart.
Allow Sonic to instantly dash into a spin dash when landing from a jump.
Yeah, more mobility with a game about speed is always going to be an improvement.
Yeah, this game just really hits what Sonic gameplay is on such a great level. It's so fast, and it has the platforming. It has like the different things to discover, but it's just so fun. It's just joyous fun.
I like that they don't tutorialize it.
No, here it is. Play the game.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
You played Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
Go
right.
The animations and just the amount of frames going into everything.
Yeah.
Generous.
It's crisp.
It's crisp. It's stunning. The soundtrack's all popping. There is such a love of the Sonic lore from these people too. You get Bark the polar bear from Sonic Fighters in there.
Yeah.
You get Bean the Dynamite, the woodpecker, and Fang the Hunter, a jerboa from Sonic Triple Trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just fun.
Who even knows what a jerboa is?
Only because of Sonic the Hedgehog do we know what a jerboa. Have we ever heard of it?
I've never seen a jerboa.
No, but we've heard of it now.
Yeah, I guess
we're talking about it. Special stages akin to Sonic CD. You can collect medallions from Blue Sphere, which results in unlockables, including the End Knuckles feature, an Insta Shield for Sonic, the Mean Bean minigame, and other stuff. A lot of cheat codes.
I love the Mean Bean video game.
Yeah.
I like Mean Bean Machine.
It is wild when there's a boss battle that just turns into Mean Bean.
It's very reverent, and it works, even though it's the easiest boss in the game.
Yeah, because that's one where you really don't get a tutorial. The boss battles, all of a sudden you're playing this game, and you're like, I don't know.
It's just Puyo Puyo.
It's probably Dr. Mario plus Tetris.
It's just Puyo Puyo.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are various cheat codes. I just wanted to call out one, which is called Ricky Mania, where all enemies will be replaced with Ricky.
Nice.
Sure. And that was released August 16th, 2017. Reception was very positive. Sonic Mania Plus, now a physical version, was never planned for Sonic Mania, but fan demand created a unique opportunity, so they added new characters and a new mode, including Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. Both were featured in the 1993 arcade game Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, Mighty has the hammer drop where you blast downward from a jump.
Love that.
And Ray has the air glide. Encore mode, this is the last thing we got, takes place after the events of the game's Mania mode and the conclusion of Sonic Forces. Sees the player progressing through altered zones with new gameplay rules. New party and live system, which is weird. At the beginning, the player starts with Sonic and either Mighty or Ray. And then you're in control of one of the characters. Others AI. You can switch between them using like boxes, and you can get your party up to all of them and switch. You'll eventually switch between all of them.
Oh.
But when you die, you lose that character, and you have to re-get them back, or you can like lose them all and you actually die.
Oh, shit.
4-player, multiplayer mode, released July 17th, 2018. I love Sonic Mania. That game,
it's great.
It fucks.
It's so playable, and it kind of makes a lot of the older ones a little difficult to play.
Yes, the cracks show so much more.
Yeah.
Mania does the thing where it is the game that I remember Sonic being in my head.
And I think that's important because it shows that the inherent idea wasn't bad. It's just that it took a long time for them to figure out how to get it to work for modern audiences.
To be able to play those old games and just identify like that works, that is great, this is bad, and to expand upon it and make it bigger and better and weirder. It's, I don't know, it's a miracle Sonic Mania came out and is as good as it is. And it's a shame that they didn't make a Mania 2.
It should have happened. And I think I think that even the fact that it had such a fan base to have this developer basically get shot to stardom through playing and modifying the video games that already exist, I just think that's wild. Like, I know Sonic as like one of my earliest memories, but I remember most of all is like the music and the visuals more than anything. It was like crack to my little mind.
It was crack.
The Green Hill Zone music,
Yeah.
you just know it right off the top of your head.
All of those original Sonic songs just like burned into my brain.
Yeah, might as well. And they always make me feel something.
Yeah. Oh, and it's fun. It's candy. It's sweets. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's it's decadent. It's the fun part of life.
And Mario's fun and all, but they kind of got something special with Sonic.
Yeah, and Sonic is in a weird spot now because the games haven't been, mostly they've been misses for a long time.
Yeah.
With a few exceptions, but now Sonic is as big as he ever was with 3 massive movies.
Yeah.
And the Knuckles show, which I know you're very fond of all of those. I've seen Sonic 1 and I think maybe Sonic 2.
Dude, I think that they are, Sonic 1 is passable, but 2, Knuckles, then 3.
Yeah.
I just think those movies are, I will never not be entertained by them.
Yeah.
Those are movies I could watch twice in a row. And I'm not saying like they're going to be like my favorite movies, but I think everyone's kind of like doing a really great job.
Yeah.
And Sonic obviously doesn't have those teeth,
The original design is amazing.
I kind of like it. And I always wonder if they made action figures of that.
Did you see Chip and Dale?
No.
That's a very good movie, actually.
Really?
It's
kind of a Roger Rabbit-y thing,
Well,
right?
it became a very self-aware thing about like, do we go 3D or do we stick to a nostalgic old design? And they go to like essentially the island of misfit toys where it's just like all of the worst animations. And they run into that Sonic.
That's hilarious.
I forget the rest of them. But no, Chip and Dale's is actually a fun movie.
I prefer the strip club.
You got Carly to laugh on that one. Let's rank some Sonic games.
Oh, let's do it.
Now, we can only rank games that you and I have both played. So
I've played all of those.
I haven't played Sonic CD.
Okay.
Not, to where I feel comfortable ranking it.
Honestly,
so I can do Sonic 1 through 3, Knuckles, and Mania would be my comfortable ones.
We could skip out Sonic CD if you want.
Okay, we'll skip that one.
I don't know if I can count myself as being a true player of it.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Indica?
Indica. Okay. Yeah, you have to answer these.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Resident Evil 7?
7.
Oh, wait. I'm supposed to be going down. I went up. Animal Well or Sonic the Hedgehog 1?
Animal Well.
I'd go Animal Well. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Arkham Knight?
Arkham Knight, I guess.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Don't Starve? Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Donkey Kong Country?
Oh, Donkey Kong.
Okay. So that puts Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll go over the final
That's fine.
numbers afterwards. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Sonic the Hedgehog 1?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Obviously. Arkham Knight or Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
2.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Animal Well?
2.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Indica?
2.
I would agree. Resident Evil 7 or 2?
7.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
Sonic.
Sonic 2. Sonic 2 or Resident Evil 4 Remake?
Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's good. I played it in VR too, so I guess I'm a little...
I'll give it to you. I'm not as sold on that one, but
it's okay.
I'm happy with it.
I played it in VR, so it's a little bit different for me, I think.
Sonic 3 or Sonic 2?
Oh, Sonic 2.
I go 2. Sonic 2 or Sonic... Fuck, this is tough. 3 or 1?
3.
3. Arkham Knight or Sonic 3?
3.
I'm going Arkham Knight.
Jeez.
I
okay.
like Arkham Knight. Okay, so...
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
1, 2... Yeah, rock, paper, scissors,
2,
and
3,
shoot, we say it. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, paper. That was confusing. But he did scissors.
Okay.
We got to say it out loud so that people can hear.
Okay,
but you
that's
won.
fine.
Okay. Yakuza Like a Dragon or Sonic 3?
Yakuza.
Like a Dragon, agreed. A Plague Tale: Innocence or Sonic 3?
3.
Sonic 3. Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic 3? Sonic 3. Well,
I feel like they're the same game at this point, but I would go Knuckles.
okay. I'll go Knuckles. I don't really care. Animal Well or Knuckles?
Knuckles.
Animal Well.
Knuckles.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Say it.
1, 2, 3,
scissors.
papers. Dang.
Kingdom Hearts 2 or Sonic 3? Kingdom Hearts 2.
Really?
Yeah, I like Kingdom Hearts 2.
Sonic 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, rock. 1, 2, 3,
rock.
paper.
Okay. And that puts us with one more. Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania or Sonic and Knuckles?
Mania.
Mania. Sonic Mania or Sonic 2?
Mania.
Mania. Sonic Mania or Resident Evil 7? Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, I agree.
Resident Evil 4 Remake or Sonic Mania?
Mania.
Yeah. Okay. If that was confusing for everyone listening, that's
It's
okay.
confusing for us too.
It's confusing. I have the list in front of me, but that puts Sonic the Hedgehog 1 at number 59, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 at 51, Sonic and Knuckles at 48, Sonic 2 at 38, and Sonic Mania at 36.
Hey, not bad.
So,
Rough competition at this point.
this was a little just fun Sonic episode.
I liked it.
And thank you so much for listening. If you want access to a bunch of bonus episodes, exclusive podcasts about, with McDonald's lore and many other things, check out patreon.com/sharethedogcast. You get bonus episodes from Eldon Dogs, Popcorn Dogs, all of the content early, lots of bonus raw dogs. We have a great community, and we want to thank our executive Patreon producers, Brian Ward, Ryan Christie, Nick, Kipper, Phil Wright, Jordan Hoff, Kelly Gutowski, Bryant Ross, Phil Just Phil, Justin Melly, Just Sonic, and Horny Jim.
Horny Jim. Oh, and catch me at Dylan's Poo Poo Pee Pee Farty Hour.
The new podcast, which we're actually recording right after this. So we'll be right back for the Poo Poo Pee Pee Farty Hour.
Keep looking. It's definitely there.
Gotta go poo.
You're not looking hard enough.
It's on there, we promise you. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you all next time.
Later.